This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Amberlynn Read, and we're doing Amberlynn Read and the 33 Strategies of War by Alan Greene. We're still applying the 48 Laws of Power as well, and just my other observations as we go. If you have not watched the first two parts of this, I highly recommend you go back and at least watch the first one, because I do a little bit more explanation, but here we are. So let's roll. The third and the fourth parts of Amberlynn's Q&A are the most important, I think, because she starts to call out reaction channels by name. Specifically, she calls out Jordy in this one, and in part 4, she's going to call out Zachary Michael, which Jordy, I understand. Her and Jordy have like a hate-hate relationship, so that one kind of makes sense, but like her going after Zachary Michael, that was weird, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I was just like, that was a bad idea. So, did she learn anything from it? No. So, I do have notes, as usual. Where are my notes? I do have notes, as usual, so if you see me looking over on the side of the screen, that is what's going on. I am going to speed her up, because always... Alright, so she's actually at time and a half. Might be too fast, might not be. I don't know, we'll find out. Right, so this is My Lies Are Haunting Me, calling out specific reaction channels and updates on Rarity. She has been stringing Rarity along through all... I think she does it through all 4 of these Q&As. Because she knows it riles up the audience when she talks about Rarity. Specifically because she has nothing to update us on. And it annoys people. And this is just, her and the Rarity thing is just another time where Amber's just rage baiting her audience. So as long as you know that's what's happening, you can kind of ignore it. Because that's all she's got. We're never seeing this cat again. Amber doesn't give 2 shits about it. And all she does is bring up Rarity in an attempt to rage bait the audience and get interaction out of them. Never mind the fact that she's blocked the words Rarity and I think cat from her comment section. So if you go in the comment section and try to interact with her and use those 2 words, your comment will not post, but you can get creative and get around it. So also, she's ignoring any criticism or questions that she is getting about Rarity, because in Amber's mind, this topic is closed. She's just using it because she knows it will get people to watch the videos. Does that make sense? She doesn't give a shit. She knows she'll get eyeballs. We have Ferrero Rocher flavored coffee today because I am bougie AF. Right, so before we get into this, we're going to be hearing a lot of Law 32 at the beginning, which I think I've said in every one of these. It's playing to people's fantasies. Amber goes into these explaining to us that the reason that she pre-recorded the Q&As, which again, I have nothing wrong with pre-recorded content. But Amberlynn is telling us that the reason why she's doing this pre-recorded Q&A is because she's going to be busy for the next 10 days, and she wants to be able to post content while she is busy. I speculated that it was Tommy coming to visit. She verifies it later on, so, you know. I don't think anyone was shocked. It's not like I'm psychic. It wasn't a leap, okay? And anybody saying, they called it, they're just very good at reading Amberverse people. And this is the strategy of the counterbalance strategy, where she's trying to balance internal weakness by creating a structured series. She's trying to minimize the opportunities for scrutiny of more controversial or unresolved topics, redirecting focus to a curated and lighthearted content. Kind of. Amber makes her own problems. She really does.
These questions, 25 per each video. And I do have a few disclaimers. I chose to do this because I promised you guys that I would upload every other day, but for the next 10 days, I'm gonna be super busy, so I'm not gonna have any time to edit, but I definitely will have time to film, so you don't have to worry about that. So
Spoilers. She might have recorded things, but the videos she posts after the Q&A...
to keep my promise, I am pre-filming, so in the best way that I knew how, I was like, let's do some Q&As for now. So if
Best way I knew how. The best way I know to create non-tent quickly is to answer questions that may or may not have actually been asked by real people.
If you haven't seen my other two, they're already posted. Things get a little juicy, and we're going to continue getting juicy. And I feel like in part 4, we might get even juicier. So let's do it. All right.
Juicy.
First question. What kind of ASMR do you watch on YouTube?
Yeah. I will never get over Amber trying to convince the world that she was diagnosed with ASMR.
Lately, I've been really loving like certain perfectionist like final touches of like the hair. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, it's so calming when like they do like curls and they like move the hair like this and like just like perfect little tiny little movements. That's why it's called ASMR perfectionist or whatever. Oh my God, it's so good and calming.
Look, I listen to ASMR stuff. I listen to soap crunching and occasionally, not as much as I used to, but I used to listen to a lot of like chalk crushing and clay cracking. I really still like clay cracking. It's just hard to find it. But I listen to this stuff, okay? I just think there's a point. I've been listening to a lot of like dopamine detox stuff lately. Huberman's had a episode on it. Come on, I can do this. Diary of a CEO. Can you tell which podcasts I listen to religiously? Anyway, there's been 2 really good episodes about dopamine detoxing, and the problem is the ASMR. Like, I like watching this chick. She does like wax melts. She does like wax ceiling melts. I can love that shit, right? And I guess it's ASMR. But here's the thing. If all you're doing is watching and listening to this stuff, and like I feel like the more vapid and the more like superficial the ASMR gets, like I feel like the more it's just like a dopamine hit, like you're chasing a dopamine hit as opposed to actually relaxing you, right? So I don't know. As someone who does listen to ASMR, and I do listen to quite a bit of it, I'm subscribed to like 5 or 6 channels. I still think that there's a point where if you're watching somebody arrange hair curls, I just think there's a point where it's no longer ASMR and it's literally just mindless television. Does that make sense? I don't know.
10 out of 10 recommend. What are some of your hobbies lately?
I like to pick the toe jam between my toenails. I like to eat food on camera for my feeder girlfriend, who is totally not a feeder. I'm sorry, I'm being mean. Hey, when did she get that pillow? I'm an idiot. She put that out for Christmas. That's right. These videos predate the new year.
I've been into scrapbooking, journaling, Legos, doodling. Yeah, that's about it. What's your love language?
What's your usual habits? I wish she'd start doing the scratch art thing again, just because like I kind of enjoyed it. I like the scratch art. I don't know. Anyway.
Or favorite way to be loved. So for the longest, I thought words of affirmation was like top 2 of my love languages, but it's not. It's actually like 3rd. My number 1 love language, I think, is physical touch. Like,
do you even actually know what love language is? Love language requires you to actually love somebody for starts. All right, going back to discussion of ASMR preferences. Law number 6, court attention at all costs. Sharing niche interests like the ASMR taps into relatable, non-controversial topics to sustain audience engagement and shift attention from her contentious issues. Big words, I know. Amber has several softball questions. You know, in the world of journalism, we call this a softball question because no one gives a shit, and you can't answer it incorrectly. So Amber has a lot of softball questions throughout this Q&A. And then she sprinkles in some hard-hitting questions, I suppose, if you want to call it that. And mostly it's to give herself 100 questions to answer because nobody's really asking. There's nothing to ask her anymore. There's nothing that we don't know, right? So there's that problem. And then I can't tell if some of the questions she's asking or answering are like troll questions that she just isn't catching that they're troll questions. Like the one about how many times should I wash my hair or something like that. I'm almost positive that was a troll question. But she's just using these as kind of filler content in between her more controversial questions that she's going to answer for us. But again, these are also the same kind of questions that are just like, Did someone actually ask you that question? What's your favorite color? Literally no one cares. Seriously. Anyway. This is also the strategy of the guerrilla war strategy. Appear harmless. Presenting herself as relatable and mundane in this context diffuses negative attention, portraying her as just another person enjoying everyday comforts, like ASMR. I wonder how many people actually do listen to ASMR. Like, I didn't for a really long time. I've only been listening to the clay cracking stuff for like 2 years. And I will admit, kind of like my K-pop obsession, the first year I started listening to the soap and the clay cracking, like, I was into it. That was like all I watched. And it was probably actually better for me than half the shit I watch today. But still, my point being, I still watch it today, but I don't watch it nearly as much. And I just wonder how many people actually... Now, these channels are huge, don't get me wrong. Like, I was tempted to start an ASMR channel because I was like, I can crush up chalk. But here we are. But yeah, people enjoy this kind of thing, right? So I do wonder, like, how many people on average do actually listen to ASMR and can relate to ASMR kind of a thing. And I also have this opinion before we get too far into this, let's head for the weeds. Hally ho. When I'm sampling the internet for like, I wonder if XYZ, and y'all answer for me, that is fabulous. But I am noticing that there is a definite like bias on the internet that leans towards a particular type of person. And I don't mean this in any kind of negative way. I have noticed that there is a certain kind of personality that is on the internet. Like, I love all of my subscribers, I truly do. But I do notice that those of you that comment anyway, those of you that silently watch and troll from the back seats, I mean, I have no idea who you are, so hello, how are you? But those of you who are commenting and who share your life experiences and stuff like that, I do notice patterns. That's what I've been trained to do. And so I do notice that when I poll the internet like this, like, I'm actually like, there's only it's a certain subgroup, right? And I can't get outside of that subgroup just asking the internet, if any of that made sense. Speaking of ASMR, I'm going to be using warm apple cider today from, again, OG Slimes. I don't have as many slimes from Momo. And you guys have sent me in a couple different other slime places. We are really going off on a tangent. But y'all have sent me some other slime places. I was like, I'm not going to buy any more slime after this big order that I did from OG Slimes. But y'all keep sending me all these other little slime places to go check out, so we might end up going to get some slimes from other places. So y'all let me know down in the comments section down below, and I'll go check it out. But seriously, OG, if you want to sponsor me, they don't want to sponsor me. But I mean, I'm not going to turn down free slime. So, all right, back to the actual topic here. Love languages. She's using Law 25. Recreate yourself. By discussing her preferred love languages and changing them, Amber is trying to craft a narrative of emotional depth and relatability, potentially countering allegations of emotional manipulation. And there is an argument to be made that love language is a form of manipulation, but I mean, there's an argument to be made that, verbalization is a form of manipulation. Conversation is a form of manipulation, right? We're always trying to manipulate each other in some way, shape, or form because that's just human nature, right? We're always trying to get the best for ourselves and or those around us that we value. Therefore, we are always attempting to manipulate people around us. That is an incredibly bleak outlook on things, but it is an outlook on things. Amber gets accused a lot of being emotionally immature, emotionally shallow, being manipulative, and other things that you just don't want to be called. So she does go out of her way on the regular to try to counter these arguments. And I think the love language question, again, who asked this question? I have never in my life been asked, what's your love language? English? French. French is the language of lovers, right? Anyway, so that kind of a thing. But this is her way of trying to create a three-dimensional persona online, because the Amber online is very two-dimensional. She's very flat. We've gotten to know all of her little quirks. And anytime Amber tries to introduce a new quirk or a new detail or a new whatever to the online Amberlynn persona, she gets a lot of pushback for it. Mostly because usually it's something stupid like, "Oh, my favorite Jeep is a G-Wagon." Is it then? All right. Okay. So it's that kind of a thing. This is also the strategy of the inner front strategy: reform yourself before reforming others. By suggesting that her love language has changed, or that she has learned a new thing about herself and her love languages, she is showing that she has adaptability. It subtly positions her as an introspective and emotionally aware individual, even if the narrative contradicts the external perceptions. So, yeah, she's just trying to, "Oh, well, I thought my love language was whatever she said it was, but really it's touch. I like physical touch." And now she's going to go into like some creepy details about how she wants to wear the skin of her girlfriends. And I mean, all right, Wild Bob or whatever his name was, Buffalo Bill, it puts the lotion on its skin. Can you imagine? She does have the small yappy dog. Put it out there. Jesus Christ. This is my head. Between her and Emily, they do have the basement and the yappy dog. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Like, with the right person, like, I cannot touch you enough.
Ugh.
You cannot touch me enough.
Don't touch me.
Like, let's be in each other.
Look, man, I don't like to be touched even by people I like, so touch is definitely not my love language.
Skin. And then my second love language is definitely quality time. I feel like that is so freaking important. It's not even funny. Quality time with zero distractions, just you and your partner to connect mentally, physically, emotionally, through laughter.
Her idea of quality time, though, includes constant, uninterrupted FaceTime on her phone. Like, I can only imagine that dating Amber would be like mentally exhausting because you could never get away from her, right? And her ex-girlfriends have said similar things. Like, she constantly wants them to check in with her when they're not around. And what was it? Beck was saying that Amber had her on a timer even when she would go to see her family members. And Amber's like, "No, it's not manipulation, you guys. I have excuses for this." And like, this is before her BPD diagnosis, right? So before that, she was just like, "Oh, I've been betrayed. I've been cheated on. I have my reasons for this kind of a thing." And it's just like, yeah, but this is hardcore control. It's hardcore manipulation, right? It's like, these are not traits these are not positive traits. And I could just imagine trying to keep her happy at all times just has to be so exhausting. What do people get? This is just me asking as a person. Like, what value do people get from dating her that makes putting up with that level of emotional dependency and just like emotional abuse worth it? Right? Anyway.
Deep conversations, fun, etc., etc. In other ways, I love—
What fucking deep conversation are you gonna have? Is the moon real? Well, I know in school they teach us that the moon is real and that the scientists discovered it and that we put astronauts on the moon and that the moonwalk was real. We've gone to the moon like 20 times, people. It wasn't just the one time. We've been to the moon multiple times. Anyway. Yeah, I can just see that in-depth conversation with Amber about the reality of the moon and if the Earth is flat or not. I don't know if she's a flat earther, but she is. I am almost 100% convinced that she is a geocentrist, which means she believes the sun revolves around the Earth. I'm nearly completely positive she's one of those. Is she a flat earther? I would not be shocked to find out, but I don't know for sure. But are those the in-depth conversations we're having, Amber? Because, like, sure.
Love to be loved. That isn't even part of, like, the love language list. Like, just understanding and patience and kindness and just, like, a gentle love. That's
a gentle love. What the fuck does that mean?
That's genuinely important to me. Do you follow trends with the clothing you wear? No. No.
Yes. Yes. That's why you buy everything that Torrid has every year. That's why you had all that, Betsy Johnson crap. Betsy Johnson, I'm sure, is a very nice person. I really don't like the stuff she designed for Torrid. And I don't, in general, tend to like her overall styles that she puts out. So, no shade against Betsy Johnson. I just personally don't like her stuff. Amber sure as hell did. What else does Amber constantly do? Oh yeah, her like neo-goth bullshit that she's trying to pull lately. Buying brand names of people she doesn't even know, like Steve Madden. That kind of shit. Anyway. Yeah, but Amber doesn't follow trends. She's not one of those kind of girls, you guys. She's not one of those girls. She's better than those girls. Those girls who are constantly worried about what the new hotness is. Amber makes the new hotness. Thank you.
Most trends, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not here to judge, but yes, the trends, you know what? Pop off.
I'm not here to judge, but I'm totally going to judge. Look, I judge.
You do you. You look great. If you love what you wear, you automatically look beautiful to me. But they're not for me. I have my own style. Sometimes I don't even...
It doesn't help that most of them don't fit, so...
understand my own style. If I see it and I wear it and I like it and I love it, I'm going to keep wearing it. I don't care what anybody says out there. What do you actually need a planner for? That sounds like a little bit of shade.
A little? You actually picked up on that one?
So I like to plan YouTube videos. You guys don't know this, but I have like a whole list of things that I want to talk about in vlogs or show in vlogs.
So, okay. I actually have things to talk about this particular thing. I just got done watching, I think it was Observe's second or third most recent video. Anyway, he put up a video that was like something to the effect of, I hate body language or something like that. Or I hate online body language. And so I watched it because like I like Observe, and honestly, and he does kind of admit this in that video. He's kind of like one of the OGs of body language on the internet. Anyway, so while he's in this video, and I do recommend people watching it because he makes some really good points in it. And yeah, and he just kind of points out things that even I say when I'm talking about body language and people choose to not hear, but here we are. But one of the things he starts saying is he calls it nonverbal communication. And I think that is a much better term than just body language, because there's more to what the whole, like, is Amber lying or not kind of a thing. There's more to it than just like, oh, she scratched her nose at 2.5 seconds in. There's a lot to it, right? It's a nonverbal communication. It's the things that she's doing besides what she is saying that kind of give away if she's telling the truth or not. And the reason why we can say these things about Amber is because we have 11 years of Amber online to look at, right? So we have a very good baseline for Amber. So it's very easy to know when Amber's doing her shit, right? All of that being said, Amber's lying her ass off here. I like to plan my YouTube videos. Actually, she looks over here when she's lying. I like to plan my YouTube videos. Do you? Do you? We couldn't tell. It's like Anna telling me she's a type A personality perfectionist. Are you really? Because I haven't seen any evidence of that. So she's lying her ass off here. But more importantly, this falls under Law 30 of the 48 Laws. Make your accomplishments seem effortless, right? By detailing her organizational habits, she's trying to combat perceptions of laziness or inefficiency that she often gets criticized of, because she's lazy and inefficient, and she's got ample evidence to show that. There's lots of reasons for why people think she's lazy and inefficient, because we watch her videos. Anyway, and this is the strategy, the defensive war strategy of reinforcing your base. By sharing this supposed routine, it reinforces her as a productive and self-aware person, defending against critiques of her lack of discipline. This one goes back to the whole, this particular strategy goes all the way back to the beginning, where she's, oh, you guys, I'm pre-recording these videos because I'm going to be out of town, and I want to make sure that I have content to put up because I told you guys that I was going to post videos every other day. And I will give her credit. So far, she has stuck to that. But it's building off of that, where she's trying to build this illusion of credibility and reliability. So this particular strategy is building off of the strategy from before. Let me scroll back up and tell you guys what it was. The was that it? Yeah. The counterbalance strategy, where she's trying to appear to be balancing her inner weaknesses, right? So she's trying to convince us that she has a routine. She's trying to convince us that she's productive. She's trying to convince us that she has enough to keep track of, that it requires her to have a planner to outline all of this stuff. Look, man, I'm going to be perfectly upfront with you. I don't keep track of this shit, right? And I put out content more reliably than Amber does. Right? So Amber, with her tracking and her planning and her this and her that, still is not as productive as the reaction channels that she rallies against and hates on constantly, right? And then she goes and picks fights in the comment sections, in the chat sections of other channels with other reaction channels. Apparently Annie, don't know where I got that one. Amber and Nerfy have gotten into it a couple times in a reaction channel's chat section, to the point where Amber has blocked Nerfy because Nerfy keeps calling her out for her BPD bullshit. And Amber doesn't like it because it hurts her fifis. But anyway. So anyway, I guess my point is Nerfy's been blocked by Amber, and so Nerfy has created a blocked by Amber honor badge. So if you've been blocked by Amber, let Nerfy know, and she might send you the badge. It's a little like a little digital sticker you can put on things. Anyway, yeah, so that's the use of a planner. She's trying to bamboozle us by making us think that she has these organizational habits and that she's very organized. She has a routine and she's being incredibly productive, you guys. We just don't know because we can't see into her every day because she doesn't show us everything on the internet. But at the same time, she's doing this specifically to counteract the accusations of laziness and inefficiency and her lack of discipline, which there's ample evidence for, which is why everyone thinks that she is, you know, lazy, inefficient, and lacks discipline. All right, anyway.
Vlogs, or what do I want to do in vlogs? I'm also a very to-do list oriented type of girly, whether it's things around the house or things I'm doing with my mom or things that I have to do.
Let cat out.
Just to remind myself, because my memory is not good. So I use a planner to plan. How often do you use your tarot cards? I only have...
Which tarot deck did she buy? I forget which deck she got. Anyway.
I never use them when I truly feel like the universe is like, I want to tell you something, or if I want the universe to tell me something, because it's not always the universe coming to me and being like, girly pop, like, we need to talk. Sometimes it's like,
I have never heard anybody talk about their tarot cards like this. I know, oh man, jerk face, he'll be back. I've never heard anybody who actually does tarot cards or like my runes. I have never heard anybody talk about their shit like this, but whatever.
Like me saying, we need to talk. I genuinely feel like with the tarot cards that I have, like I have treated them with like the kindness you need to treat your tarot cards.
What is the kindness you need to treat your tarot cards? With, I'm assuming, was the word you forgot to use there. What is it that you think you're supposed to do with your tarot cards? I would like to know. I know some people go to lengths, man. Some people smudge their cards, they bless it with salt, they use smoke, they do the whole 9 yards. You just gotta sit in the full moon, da 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 da. Some people have like a whole thing that they do. Some people are like me. I just keep them out of the way so that the cats can't get to them and destroy the damn things. And I keep the box wrapped in a silk handkerchief because it's got that metallic paint on it. It's a really pretty box, and that's why I keep it wrapped in silk, because I don't want that metallic stuff to rub off. And that's really the only reason they're in that. Otherwise, I just kind of, you know, put them away when I'm not using them and take them out when I am. You know, but I don't just like chuck them into like the nightstand or like wherever you would keep a deck of cards, right? It's kind of like that. So I would like to know what Amber thinks is taking care of her cards, just because like Amber can't take care of shit. And I'm just curious, you know, taking care of a lot of people who are really, really into tarot and really, really into spiritualism and that kind of stuff. Like they treat their instruments of the craft as if they are living things. And this is something that I studied in archaeology and anthropology a lot, and I've taken it into the paranormal archaeology thing that I'm desperate to get off the ground this year. The way you interact with an object once you've decided that it is imbued, where it is no longer just an object, right? So let's say, I don't know, let me find something here. The slime, okay? This is just slime, right? It's just slime. It's just apple cider scented slime. It smells really good. It's kind of fun. Woo, yeah, you know? But what if I tell you that this particular slime has been made with holy water, and the borax used to activate it is actually like a blessed salt from, I'm making shit up, people, some kind of spiritually active place, right? And so the whole point of creating this, and that like the colorant in it is actually ground amber, because I want the properties of the amber in this this slime. And I was thinking amber because it's brown, not because we're talking about amber. But the point is now I have elevated this slime from just being slime to an activated spiritual object, because it's got holy water in it, it's got spiritual salts in it, it has ground amber in it. I can go further and be like, it's been activated in the moonlight, and you know, the use of this actually spreads the whatever the hell it is amber does. I can't think off the top of my head. But my point is now this slime is more than just slime, right? Now it's a spiritual object. And now, do I treat it the same way I treat my normal slime? Like if I were to sell you this slime, this magical spiritual slime in this plastic tub, would you think it was still magical spiritual slime? What if I took this magical spiritual slime and I put it in, I don't know, let's pretend like I had a silver container, right? Or a fancy ceramic container. I can make this slime become something more than just what it is, which is just water, glue, and borax with some fragrance and coloring in it, right? Now, if I tell you what it is, you're going to interact with the slime differently. If I tell you this slime is haunted, right? Even if you don't believe in that kind of shit, you're going to interact with this object differently than you would if I had never mentioned anything about this object being anything other than slime before, right? And I know that sounds like an absolutely ridiculous thing, but it's really not. It really is that simple. My point being, people who use objects for craft, for like magic craft purposes, tarot cards fall into that category. They tend to treat these objects as if they were at least somewhat living, right? So a lot of them have like special places they put it. They have, again, special rituals that they do to activate the cards, things that they do before they even do a reading. Kicking Geese always like meditates real quick over her cards. She'll close her eyes and she'll ask the question out loud, that kind of a thing. I know some people will not do a reading unless they've used whatever, like a crystal to pass over the cards to cleanse the energy and that kind of a thing. But the point is when they're not using these objects, they've put them away someplace. Some people put it to bed. They have a special box or something that they keep it in, but it's not just a box. The box represents a bed. And so you're putting the object to bed because it needs to rest while you're not using it. And that's like the extreme end, in my opinion. That's like the extreme end of taking care of an imbued object, right? There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. That's just like, you're really taking care of it, right? You are treating it like it's a living object, and that's fine. That's what you want to do. And then you got people like me who's like, yeah, I keep it so that the box doesn't get damaged because the box is really pretty and I don't want to lose the cards. And I know if I leave them out, the cats will play with them and chew on them. And I don't want them to do that, right? Because it's a nice deck. I don't want it getting destroyed. So where does Amber fall in that spectrum? Because I've seen how Amber treats living things. So how is she treating her cards? Because she says later, I can see them right now and they're calling to me. Are they sitting just kind of willy-nilly on your kitchen cabinet and they're like, Amber, put us back in our box for the love of God, right? Like, what's happening with these cards? What have you done? Do you even know if all of the cards are still there? Anyway.
Might have been a little neglectful. I'm currently actively staring at them because they're on my bookshelf. And just know that I love you guys. I do.
You've shown more emotion and love towards these cards than you show towards your cats.
Maybe I should get them out tonight because now I'm feeling guilty. It's been like easily over.
You feel guilty about not doing tarot readings, but you don't really seem to feel too guilty about leaving your cat in Wisconsin.
For a month, maybe even longer. Oh my God, it's been since before I went to Wisconsin. Holy. I do believe that if you treat your tarot cards right, like they'll treat you right and they'll connect with the universe even more. I notice some people, like, you probably think I'm crazy and you don't believe in that, but everyone has their different beliefs. I would never judge someone based on what they believe. And
I totally judge you based on the fact that you don't believe the moon is real and that you have your doubts about the sun. I am judging you really hard about those.
I hope they would do the same for me and they won't judge me. And it's really crazy because I feel like I have like...
I'm 100% judging you. 100%. By the way, I have a bridge in San Francisco to sell you.
Matured a lot spiritually. I used to not really believe in tarot readings or tarot cards or really anything about it. But I'm telling you, that was years ago. But
last year. It was last year. Lots of people have done and still do tarot readings for Amber. They're always kind of fascinating to watch because, you know, again, I do runes. I'm pretty open about them. I'm always like, this is for entertainment purposes only. You're going to get what you want out of these. And I still feel that way. I think tarot cards are a lot of fun. I use them for journaling purposes and just self-exploration. But there are people that believe that these cards will actually predict reality and or current events, and that's absolutely fine if that's what you want to do, right? I think it's fascinating to watch people do these readings. I know that with the Rarity situation, several people's tarot readings have brought the audience at large some comfort, because the reality is we will never know. We just will never know. But you know, some of these readings that people have done have been fairly positive, and that brings some comfort to people in the community who want that comfort, right? And that's fine. I really, honest to God, do not have a problem with that, as long as you're not trying to be like a charlatan over it. Where was I going with this? Oh, Amber. So people have been doing readings for Amber for probably ever since she started doing this damn channel. I wouldn't be that surprised. And Amber has always pushed back against it. She hated it that people were doing tarot readings for her. And it was really interesting because in the Beck era, I think it was Beck's sister or Beck's cousin was doing readings for Beck during their time together. And one of the times that Amber was like, people are doing tarot readings for me. And what was she trying to say? And that's against the rules. You're not supposed to do tarot readings for people who haven't asked for them. And I don't know why Beck decided that was the time to step in, but they did. And Beck was like, oh yeah, my cousin or sister, she does readings for me all the time too. And Amber was like, oh really? What does she say? And you could see on Beck's face, she was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. And so Beck tries to kind of little backpedal, oh, you know, things. And Amber's trying to like pry for information and Beck's trying to not give it. And it's just like, shouldn't have brought it up. But Amber, up until last year, has been very against people doing readings for her. I don't know if she's ever had a professional reading done for her, that kind of a thing. But last year, she bought her first deck of cards, which is this deck that she's got here. And I know some people are like, oh, you shouldn't buy your cards. People should buy them for you, or the cards should find you in some way. I don't care. I have two decks of cards that were gifted to me by my mothers. I have two mothers. But every other deck that I have, I bought. And mostly I buy them because I like the artwork on them. And I'm always looking for a nice, pretty deck to buy. So there you have it. So I'm obviously not in camp, it must be bought for you or else it has no meaning for you. Because I also come from the rune branch of things, and you're not gifted runes. You have to make them yourself. That's how you get your first set of runes usually. And again, if someone gifts you a set of runes, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But you should learn to make your own set of runes. That is kind of part of the process, right? That kind of a thing. So obtaining your own deck of cards is not a sin in my world, but that's just honestly because of the way I was trained to do fortune telling and that kind of shit. Where was I going with this? Oh, so until Amber picked up her first deck of cards and started doing her own readings, I would love to watch her do a reading. I would just love to watch her do a reading from start to finish. Anyway. Look, I'm not a tarot expert. Not even close. I bet you I do a better job with tarot than Amber does. I'm willing to put money on that one. $5. $5 whole I will put on that bet. Anyway, But it wasn't until she picked up her own cards and started doing her own readings that Amber was like, oh, maybe there's something to the tarot cards. And because she doesn't know what she's doing and she's interpreting them the way she wants to interpret them. And that's fine, I guess, if that's what you want to live your life. But up until this point, Amber was absolutely anti people doing any kind of fortune telling for her up to this point, right? Or oracles for her up to this point. Anyway, tarot cards and spiritual growth, to get back to the actual topic. Law 27, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. We're not saying that tarot cards are a cult. Please do not take it that way. What we are saying is that Amber is trying to play into this concept of spiritualism, and she's using the tarot cards as a portal into this conversation. And through that, she's trying to pull other people who are spiritually minded, not necessarily religious, but maybe spiritually minded to her. So she's sharing her belief in the cards and spirituality. She's trying to leverage these narratives to connect with viewers who have the same or similar practices, because Amber is constantly trying to build her audience in a more positive direction because she has such a negative audience. Honestly, I can't blame her for trying to build a more positive audience. She constantly complains about those of us who are negative, those of us hater nation or whatever, sideline nation. But she's constantly trying to build more allies, and this is just one of the things that she's trying to use to build more of an allyship. The problem with this particular one is people who are into this kind of stuff are usually like into this kind of stuff. And it's like when she was showing off her crystal collection, she's got some beautiful crystals, right? I like my shiny rocks, and I am very upfront about they are shiny rocks. I love them. They're cool. I like the whole concept of it. There are some people that truly believe that these crystals have powers and that they will imbue an area with said power, and there's various different ways to use said crystals in order to basically improve your life or alter reality around you. You know, so there are people that take this shit seriously. This is one of those things that people take seriously. So if Amber kind of like ham-handedly does this tarot and the spiritualism thing, there is a potential for some serious backlash here just because of the community she's trying to tap into with this. Anyway, I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm saying that she's on a road where she could potentially really insult gravely a large group of people that she's trying to cater to right now. Does that make sense? All right, I hope that all made sense. This is the strategy of appealing to the mystique. Spirituality creates an aura of personal growth and depth, masking unresolved personal and public issues. So again, this is another way that Amber is trying to create an onion layer for herself. You know, she's trying to create emotional depth. She's trying to create relationship depth. Here she's trying to create spiritual depth by telling us about various things. And we've hit on those as we've gone through these. I know that that was a really long rant about tarot cards, and I apologize, but here we are.
But as time went on, I felt more compelled to get my own deck of cards, and
the power of tarot compels you.
The power of tarot compels you. Respect and understanding. Every single time I have done a tarot reading on myself, whether the reading was bad or good, it felt right and it felt true, and I definitely felt it in my heart. Yeah.
Every time I did the thing for myself,
taking those cards down tonight and doing a reading because I think I need one, and I almost feel like someone asked me that question because the universe was like, Amberlynn, we need a tarot reading. We should speak a little bit. So thank you.
Is this the universe telling me that I need to go get my tarot cards and do a tarot reading? Oh, you know what I do have? I don't have my tarot cards with me right this second. What do I have? Where are they? Come here, you little bastards. Yes, I refer to my cards that way. Leave me alone. These are rune cards. This is a really old rune deck. They don't make it anymore. It's a really old rune deck. It's like a classic. It's based on Ralph Blum's stuff. If you've ever read Ralph Blum's book, it's literally just called The Book of Runes. I don't know why I'm preferencing all of this, but all right, they're really pretty. I guess the main reason I'm doing that is because Ralph Blum's definitions and interpretations of the runes are very counter to the more nouveau traditional versions of them, and I stand by them. So there we have that. Not all of them, but I do stand by them. I have gunk on my hands. All right. Dear Rune Cards, is Amberlynn 100% full of absolute bull poop? You will not be able to see it in this one. This one's difficult to see, but this is Nathus. Nathus represents need, and this is the spider web. It is also the rune of illusion. No, that's the Isa. Never mind. Nathus is the rune of need, the need fire, but it's also it's the unheeded warning. So you've been warned, but you choose to ignore it, and because you choose to ignore it, bad things happen. So, to take this further, maybe Amber is being warned by her cards, by the universe, and she's ignoring those warnings. Excuse me, I hope you all understand that was completely and totally made up. I mean, the definition's real, but I was just kind of goofing.
Thank you to the person asking that question. What were your Animal Crossing eras like? So I've had 3 Animal Crossing eras where I played obsessively. The first time ever was, I know I was living in Virginia and I would play like obsessively. So that was the first time. And then the other 2 times is when I was living in Kentucky. And since then, haven't touched it. Do you think
Who is asking her this question about Animal Crossing? By the way, whoever it was that got me stuck on Stardew Valley, screw you, man. Do you understand how much time that has already eaten up, and I bought that game yesterday?
lesbians can be non-binary? Of course. Do you still smoke Delta 8? And are you
The lesbians being non-binary question is a troll question. Amber's on record being very anti her ex who transitioned. I don't know if they transitioned during the relationship or right after the relationship, but I do believe there was some desire to transition during the relationship, and Amber was more than a little against it. And then there's a video of Amber later on completely making fun of this ex because they wanted to transition. And again, I think that's why the question of have you ever dated a man, or was why I think that was a troll question if it was a real question, because Casey has transitioned and is, fully recognized as male in society at this point, or at least this society. I'm not going to pretend like that there aren't issues. But my point is, Amber still doesn't recognize Casey. I still don't feel like Amber recognizes Casey as being male. And that's because when Amber and Casey were dating, it was prior to Casey's transition. By the way, whoever the little phobe person was who left their shitty little comment on the last video, you're an ass. And I hope you don't post again, because I will be deleting your comments from this point forward. Just letting you know. Because clearly you're watching these videos. So that particular question about being non-binary, that one I think goes towards Beck, who, after Beck and Amber broke up and Beck moved back in with, I don't know who Beck was living with at the time. But Beck shortened their name from Becky to Beck and said that they would like to be using they, them pronouns, but it's okay if you slip and use she, her pronouns. But that's the non-binary thing. Beck came out as non-binary. I don't know if Beck still identifies that way, but until told otherwise, I'm going to continue to do they, them as much as humanly possible. And Amber was, as usual, not supportive of that. When she does refer to her ex, she doesn't refer to Beck in a gender neutral kind of way. Again, Beck did say it's okay if you call me Becky. It's okay if you use she, her pronouns. It's just they would prefer they, them, and they would prefer the name Beck, right? So you're not performing some great sin should you forget. With Amber, however, it's not a oops, I forgot. It's a intentionally ignoring the fact that you have chosen a different identity than the one that I remember you as. Ergo, I will not acknowledge it. It's the same thing that she did with Casey and continues to do with Casey. And I'm sure if she ever has another ex come out in any way, shape, or form, it will be the exact same process, right? Amber will either mock it, refuse to acknowledge it, or what have you. And it's why everybody calls her a transphobe, because I mean,
going to stop when you start semaglutide. I do still smoke. I definitely don't smoke as much as I used to. And I will be more than likely stopping when I start semaglutide. Delta 8 gives me the munchies, and it would be counterproductive. Is that the right word? It'll be counterproductive to be taking semaglutide, but then also smoking Delta 8. Like, it doesn't make sense.
But you did it last time, supposedly. I'm still on the fence as to if she actually does that shit as much as she claims she does. I had something important to say here, did I? No. Oh, the counterproductive. Is it? Amber is known for her amberisms, if you're new here. Amber is known for her amberisms, hecticana being one of them. I actually really like that word, not gonna lie. But Amber likes to make up words. Amber likes to use the improper forms of words, or purposely mispronounce words that she knows she's mispronouncing them and will acknowledge that she is doing so. So this whole, like, is that the right word? I'm not entirely sure what she's doing with this, because this isn't the first time during this Q&A that she's stopped to consider if she's using the accurate form of a word or not, or even the accurate word for the situation. She's even asked ChatGPT a few times about things. I'm not sure what this particular set of behaviors is trying to convey, because it's new. It's not brand new, but the frequency of it is new. So I'm kind of curious what she's trying to achieve here, why this behavior has changed. Like, has Tommy started calling her out on her weird, I'm cute and stupid, he behavior, and so Amber's trying to show that she's not stupid? I don't know. I don't think just because you don't know words that makes you stupid. I don't think accents make you stupid. I don't think a lot of things, like education, lack of thereof, does not make you stupid. I think these are all things that society needs to get the fuck over. Amber, on the other hand, does shit intentionally. So that's what makes it different, right? Amber intentionally changes her accent. Amber intentionally mispronounces and uses the incorrect words. Amber is intentionally leaving in things where she's like, is that the right word? Don't get me wrong. I do that shit too. And I'll go and I'll Google it and I'll come back and let you know if I found the right word or not. Like modernity, I think, was Anna's word. It is a word. It's just not the word Anna wanted to use. Anyway, so that's a new behavior for her, or a new frequency of a behavior for her. I'm confused as to what it is, but we will be observing it going forward, and I don't know, maybe we'll figure it out. But here we are. I know I'm rambling, but you guys seem to like these long-ass videos, so here you go.
If you plateau on semaglutide this time, will you still keep taking it? Last time I took semaglutide, it stopped working because the syringes I got were pre-filled, which you are not.
By the way, this is all just absolute bullshit. Just letting you know. Never, ever, ever, ever take any kind of medical advice from Amber. Ever. It's going to be, if it's researched, it's going to be half-heartedly researched. 90% of it's going to be incorrect. And it just is a terrible idea to take any form of medical advice or medical facts from Amber, including this one about semaglutides.
Not supposed to do that, because when you pre-fill a syringe, it expires in 28 days. And through the med spa that I went, they acted as if that was okay. And I know a lot of people were asking, like, did you see a doctor? The person was actually an RN, so they knew what they were talking about, but no one's a robot. People make mistakes. 28 days is only 4 weeks. And for 4 weeks, the syringes were working. Week 5, I felt nothing. So that is when I doubled my dose. I still felt nothing. And when you double your dose, oh honey, you feel something. So that's when
she never doubled her dose. Did she double her dose? I feel like she quit before her dose got upped.
I was like, something just doesn't seem right to me. And I had
your overall story?
13 pre-filled syringes. So that's 13 weeks worth. And that's like way past the expiration date. At that point, potency, non-existent. But to answer your question, if I plateau on semaglutide, will I keep taking it? Yes. Are there any updates on Rarity? Sadly, no. In my actual gut and soul.
Where did I get off to? Updates on Rarity. This is Law 15 to crush your enemy totally. Her overly optimistic accounting of Rarity being cared for by someone else deflects the responsibility and mitigates public backlash by regarding the unresolved situation and putting it in a positive spin. Amber is notorious for saying things like, I feel in my heart of hearts, or I feel in my gut. Like, she doesn't have cancer anymore, you guys, because she feels in her bones that she doesn't have cancer anymore. She's never had her follow-ups for any of this, right? There's been many, many, many other things that have all been rather serious topics where she's just been like, I know because I feel that is either true or not true, right? And she's usually wrong. Not trying to like dash anybody here. I'm just saying Amber's absolutely 100% full of bullpucky when she starts doing this crap. I feel what she's doing right in this moment is, I don't want to take the time to verify what I'm about to say, so I'm just going to fall back on the everything's okay because I feel it to be okay. That's what's happening right here. This is her shucking all responsibility for whatever topic she's talking about. This time it just happens to be the cat. And this is her shedding responsibility and also being like, and the topic is done. Like, I, in my heart of hearts, have decided that this is what is, and therefore nothing will change my mind. The cancer changed her mind, but here we are.
Soul and heart. I really do believe that someone found her and they're loving on her. They're feeding her and she has water and warmth.
And I'm doing my fake cry voice. This also falls under the strategy of counterbalance. By framing her belief in Rarity's safety as hopeful and heartfelt, she appeals to sympathy and deflects criticisms about negligence. I know that's what she's attempting to do, because she seems to think it's working, because she's like, oh, I've noticed the criticisms about Rarity have gone down. No, you blocked the words. People can't ask about Rarity directly anymore because you blocked the word Rarity from your comment section. If we can't say it, then it looks like we're not talking about it. Weird how that works. So that kind of stuff. But here we are.
And love and laughter and cuddles. Everything that I once gave her. I truly believe that someone...
Everything I once gave her by throwing cat toys directly into her face on purpose, not by accident.
Someone else is doing the same. For now, I will have her home one day.
God, I hope not.
I do believe that, and I'm putting out all of the positivity that I can.
Sorry, I had a brain fart, had to get up, and now I've lost my train of thought. So, my wonderful editor, though, will take all of that out, so you will never know.
Ooh, I need a minute. Have you ever...
I needed a minute, too.
...been assessed or evaluated for ADHD?
This is a wonderful story, by the way.
Because, girl, I see all the signs in you. So I have been assessed by a psychologist, and the psychologist then said, you need to be, actively evaluated because you show signs, as that person said. And this was when I was living in Kentucky. So I had scheduled an appointment, but it was literally for 6 months away. And I ended up moving because me and my girlfriend at the time broke up, and I was ready for a change. I did not belong in Kentucky anymore. And I think I had 3 months to go. And
she moved away from Kentucky because she didn't have a caregiver in Kentucky. And that's why she moved to Oklahoma. Yes, I think she probably did want to be closer to her family, because I mean, who doesn't when you have a decent relationship with them? But Amber cannot take care of herself. And she's very aware of that, as are the rest of us. And you will never not convince me that the reason why she moved back to Kentucky or back to Oklahoma was not so that she could be near her parents, near her mom specifically. We're moving on to Stargazing by OG again. It's pretty, it's just inky black with some little star glitters in it. Checking to see if it needed to be anything. It needs to be moisturized. Moisturize me. Anyway, so yeah, you will never convince me that she didn't move to Oklahoma specifically so that her mom could take care of her. And then as soon as she thought she had found another caregiver, she tried to bail, and that clearly didn't work out because she's back in Oklahoma, not in Wisconsin. So here we are. Oh yeah, I need to wet this boy down. Anyway, we'll do that later. Slime care later.
Until my appointment, but obviously since I moved, I wasn't able to attend the appointment. So I still have...
So this is the second or third appointment she's made and then left the state before she's had a chance to have the appointment. So she made this appointment when she was in Kentucky, supposedly. And then while she was in Oklahoma, before she went to Wisconsin, she made an appointment for bladder? Kidney? I think it was her kidney. She's got kidney stones. That she didn't go to because she spent 2.5 months in Wisconsin. And while she was in Wisconsin, supposedly, she made an appointment to go see a specialist in BPD, a therapist who specialized in BPD, who was based out of Wisconsin. And then she came home to Oklahoma before that appointment. Are we noticing a pattern here? It's these patterns that make me go, you never had an appointment. Like, you just make shit up about these appointments. But anyway.
Have not been evaluated. Do you have any updates on the article you were interviewed for? Nope. I have not been contacted since I did the interview. Where is was
If Zachary Michael hadn't also been contacted by the same woman, I would have assumed that this was bullshit. Just out of hand. I would be interested to know if the article did go forward, though, because the person is a real person. She writes for a real news outlet. I wasn't following it beyond that point, but I know a couple people, especially in the Discord, were. So if you do know that article went up, let me know, because I would like to read it. I'd like to know what the hell the point of that was. The ADHD evaluation story. This is log 23. Concentrate your forces. I need to put my glasses on. I'm sorry, guys. Ooh, those are so dirty. Amberlynn addresses signs of ADHD, but deflects responsibility for pursuing formal diagnosis due to logistical barriers like moving, redirecting attention away from unresolved health narratives, and again, making herself sound like she's the victim, right? So yeah, Amber loves to tell us, oh, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go see this doctor, I'm gonna go to Weight Watchers, this Weight Watchers meeting. She's been doing that since, not Weight Watchers, but the whole like, I'm gonna go do XYZ, and then for some reason it falls through. She has literally been doing this since the Crystal era. So this is a well-established trait of hers. It's a little better. This is also a dirty war strategy of shifting the focus. She's sharing partial truths about her health. By sharing partial truths about her health, she is distracting from allegations of fabricating other diagnoses like her BPD. So there's a growing group of us that do, and I put myself in this group, that do not believe she's been diagnosed with BPD. And there's an even larger growing group, not larger, but a group inside that group that is saying that she doesn't have BPD at all. I can't tell you one way or the other. I just don't think she's ever been to a doctor to be diagnosed with it. I think maybe possibly she went to a therapist once and they might have had an offhand comment about it. And she was like, oh, BPD. I think more likely when she started talking to Alexis, aka Lex, Alexis apparently has BPD and is in treatment for it. And I think Amber heard about it from Alexis and decided to accumulate that diagnosis as well. So that's what I think actually happened. I don't know if she has it or not, and we will never know because she's never going to go get actually 100% formally diagnosed for it. Also, getting evaluated for ADHD, my shrink just told me I had it. Mine's gifted, though. I have gifted ADHD. And the paperwork to prove it. I don't know what the fuck it means.
Sobby. More than likely, he's laying on the bed. How did you find out Santa wasn't real? So I was laying.
The cat questions are always a troll question. Anything about Twinkie is always a troll question. When she answers it, she's answering it to be spicy. She resists showing us the animals and has done so for a very long time because she knows that gets the audience pissed off. And it's just a way of her trolling the audience.
In the living room, and I did that because I wanted to catch Santa in the act. I'm sure most little kids do. So I was sleeping on the couch next to the Christmas tree. Next thing you know, my mom's like, oh my God, my water broke as I was putting Santa's gifts out under the tree. She did not know that I was awake. She did not know that I heard that. But yeah, my mom went into labor on Christmas 2 times with me and with my brother Jonathan. I was born on the 27th though, so she was in labor for like a hot minute.
I was your mom, I'd stop having sex 6 months out from Christmas because, like, clearly there's a pattern.
She went in labor with Jonathan early, like in the morning, like in the night while I was sleeping, and actually still had him that day. So my brother Jonathan's birthday is on Christmas. Literally the best Christmas of my life. Mm-hmm. Do you deep down want to be skinny? If I could have any body type in the world, and I was 100% the healthiest I could be, I still would not want to be skinny. My favorite body type is like chunky, like curvy, like thick thighs, like good hips, pretty big butt. I don't want to be skinny for me. I think every body type is beautiful.
There's too many songs that I can think of right here. I like big butts and I cannot lie. That song will never get old. Ever.
Beautiful. Skinny, chunky, fat, whatever it may be. Like, I think you are absolutely gorgeous. But for myself, like, I want beautiful. Some curves. I want some meat. I want my partner to grab onto my chunk.
My chunk.
When is the last?
All right, sorry, there were way too many songs about that running through my head at the same time. Weight and body image. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Amber claiming that she embraces her chunky body and she's seeking to resonate with viewers who have similar insecurities, fostering an emotional connection with her chunky viewers. It's not working with me, but here we are. So Amber and her whole, like, if I could be 100% healthy, I wouldn't be skinny. I kind of sort of agree in that situation. Like, I don't want to be toothpick skinny, but because I like curves on me, I think I look good with curves. But curves and being obese are two different things. So what I think the better question would be, if you could wake up at a healthy weight, would you? If you could take a pill and just magically be a healthy weight, hell yeah, I would. Hand me that fucking pill. Let's see. It's also a dirty war strategy. Oh, no, wait, we're the wrong one. This is the mirror war strategy of reflect audience values. So she's trying to promote body positivity this way because, like, I don't want to be skinny, you guys. I'm happy with my curvy body, my chunky body. So this is her promoting body positivity. She's trying to neutralize criticisms about her weight while aligning with the broader social discussion of self-acceptance. We see her do this every time she talks about her girlfriends, and because she gets a lot, every time she starts dating a new person, she gets questions about, oh, they're only dating you because they're adult fun timing what you look like in their heads. That was a really elaborate way of saying that. And she's always like, oh my God, you know, why is it so weird for somebody to like chunky women or big girls? And it's like, well, it's not technically that weird. There are people that prefer meat on the bone, if you will, but there's also people that prefer no meat on the bone. You know, it's just the kind of thing. There's people who prefer everything. It's a spectrum. There are people who marry cars. There are guys who marry their pillows. It's not an evolutionary thing. I know everyone likes to say that, but it's not. The handful of studies I have seen about male attractiveness to women, basically it boils down to the woman needs to be smaller than them in size, not necessarily height, just size. So if your boyfriend's rocking out a 43-inch waist, you need to rock out a 40-inch waist, right? And men also find women who have a larger hip to waist ratio more attractive, meaning your waist needs to be smaller than your hips, right? Which also usually means your shoulders are smaller, or yes, your waist needs to be smaller than your hips, which also usually means that your shoulders are usually in proportion somewhat. That being said, men don't care how heavy you are. As long as you fall into what they consider the attractive ratios, they don't give a shit, right? It's an attractiveness thing. So no, it's not an evolutionary thing where it's like men want to mate with women who are healthy looking. Define healthy looking back when we evolved to only want to mate with healthy looking people. We didn't have the BMI back in prehistoric times, my friends. Your argument does not hold water. Anyway, yeah, but that's pretty much all I'm ever going to say about that, because that's what, yeah, no is what I have to say about that. Anyway, I forget what I was even talking about. God, I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why I'm so scatterbrained today.
Last time you watched Karina Kaboom? I'm telling you, the last time I watched her, I think was during live streaming.
Last week.
Era. 3 X's ago, like even
last week.
Before Feline. I don't like that woman.
last week.
I hate everything about that woman.
That's true. This
like
is
no
true.
tea, no shade, but what is going on with her? I chose to like be like, I cannot do this anymore. Like she puts me in the biggest negative headspace. So I said, I'm actively removing myself from the situation, and I have not watched her since. So it's literally been years. Are you?
I would applaud her if that were true. I don't believe that's true. I have no evidence one way or the other. So maybe she has stopped watching Karina altogether because Karina causes her to have heart palpitations. I mean, that is the best way to handle that situation, right? Avoid it as much as possible. But I know she watches other reaction channels, so why would I believe that she doesn't watch Karina? Because she loves having Karina's name in her mouth, right? And if you're not watching Karina, how do you know what's going on? I mean, sure, people could be sending you stuff, like little clips and links and that kind of thing. But probably that's not what's happening. But this is her reaction to critiques. Be royal in your own fashion. This law pops up a lot with the girls, where it positions herself above the reaction channels, framing them as petty and opportunistic while emphasizing her own resilience. We'll get back to this as well when we get into her tirade against Jordy. But this is her. Karina upsets me, so I don't watch her anymore. Sure. That is what an adult would do in that situation, but I don't believe that's what you do. And this is also no, that one's for later. Sorry. But that is the Karina thing. Now, I'm sorry I fidget so much. I'm sorry I'm apologizing so much. I don't know what's up with this reaction. Here we are. Anyway, this is not where Amber goes to war. I have been saying that these are the strategies of war where Amber is warming up for it. Like the first episode, she was rallying the troops. The second episode, she was getting into position. This episode, she launches her attack strategy. It is not on Karina. I know it sounds like it, but it's not. She's had her thing with Karina that has come and gone. She does not like Karina. Everybody knows this. Like literally everyone knows. Even Karina knows this, so it's not like this is news. When she gets to Jordy, you will hear the difference and you will understand why I'm doing the strategies of war. Do I think Amber's doing a good job? That's up to you to decide. I know you asked me, but I'm gonna deflect.
Are you for or against abortion? I am pro-choice. Will you get another pet anytime soon?
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Alright, so
no!
I have to sail all the way up here somewhere.
No!
What's the last hypocritical thing you've heard recently that involves another YouTuber?
Anything that came out of your mouth?
So I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Nikki and Gabby are two twins that have done YouTube for so long.
I have no idea who these people are.
Probably even longer than me, and I've been on YouTube for 11 years.
My God, you're so old. I was on YouTube before we could have longer than 15-minute videos. Anyway, I mean, since we're doing YouTube creds. Okay, anyway.
But either way, they've been on YouTube for literally forever. And they used to do a ton of videos. Like they had like their own channel. Now they have like 2 separate channels because they decided not to make videos together anymore. But regardless, they would get so many views, like millions of views. Like they were part of like the most famous YouTubers. Like they would go to like Tarte brands and like
I have no idea who these people are. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Like Bora Bora, because like companies would pay for them to do that. And like they were like part of that group, right?
Bora Bora. She wants to go to Bora Bora. That's the one she wants to go to, right?
Nikki has recently came out on her TikTok and like confessed all of these lies. I'm like talking crazy things that.
Is this like the Trisha Paytas thing? These YouTubers get to lie, but if I lie,
like Nikki and Gabby both lied about and like faked in their videos. Like so many things that it literally has left my jaw on the floor.
No one cares.
Like, and I still have not picked it up.
I mean, if you leave it there,
someone pick it up for me. And I think the reason why my jaw is still sitting on the floor is because nobody's mad.
Yep, it's exactly like the Trisha Paytas thing. All right, I forgot about this one. Sorry. I would like you to leave said jaw upon said floor because I don't know. Because the visual of your jaw being on said floor does not make me wish to go pick it up. I don't know if y'all know what a jaw on the floor looks like. and what the remaining skull of said misplaced jaw would then look like. But I'm here to tell you, I would just rather not touch that.
Nobody's mad at them.
I bet there's a lot of people who are mad at them. You just aren't seeing it.
That they have lied and like cheated their way through the YouTube life. Like I'm so like I genuinely am so confused because like that one video that I made 8 years ago,
and we're slipping into our,
where I was like, yeah, these are the few things that I've lied about and here are the reasons why I've done it.
You legitimately thought that there were good reasons for those lies, and they're legitimate. Those lies, the reasons that you gave 8 years ago for those lies that you'll admit to, those weren't good reasons for the lies.
That has haunted me.
Good.
Like there's no tomorrow. Like people still to this day bring it up, and it's been like 8 years now. But
yeah, because you constantly say, I don't lie. But you have an entire video where all you did was sit down and point out all the times you've lied. And not only were you pointing out all of the times that you lied, but the times that the things you were pointing out were things that your audience had said, no, you're lying. So the problem is, 8 years ago, you confirmed for your haters that when we detect you lying, we're usually correct because you verified it for us. Also, I feel like she's done the I've lied to you thing more than once. I feel like there's like 2 videos at least of that. And that's the issue. It's not even that you lied and that you were trying to make yourself look better by owning up to those lies and defending why you were lying. The problem is up until those videos were made, people were like, Amberlynn is lying about this, this, and this. And we didn't have any evidence of it. We were just saying this, this, and this. These are lies, right? And then Amber makes these videos and she says, oh my God, you guys, I lied here and I lied here and I lied here. It doesn't matter what the defense for those lies were. You verified this, this, and this were lies, and the community was correct in identifying when you were lying. It's like giving us an A+ on a test, on a test, on an observation test. So it's not that you lied. It's that you verified for the audience that when we say you're lying, we're pretty good at detecting when you're lying. So it doesn't matter if the video is 8 years old. And I still feel like there's like a second video that she did where she was talking about, and she always is constantly coming out with little things here and there, like with the whole wifey 1, wifey 2 thing, which was just such a stupid lie. I don't even know why she tried it. But she'll come out in a video here, there, or something else, was just like a flippant, oh yeah, wifey 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're all the same person. Yeah, we know. But you were insistent for 2.5 years that they were different people. Anyway.
But Nikki and Gabby lied about even worse and even more, and people are just gagged. We're just gagged. Oh my God. And like nobody cares. I'm like, I don't know.
I currently do not care at all, actually.
What planet? As Yo Mama says, am I in the upside down?
Yes. There are giant flower-headed monsters that want to devour you whole and suck your psychic powers out of you. Madame 11. Yes, you are in the upside down.
Like, am I in the upside down? Am I living in the upside down right now? And as a viewer, like, I'm hurt. I'm like, what? You lied about all of that, and all of that was fake, and like.
So Amber, you feel hurt and betrayed when you found out that these YouTube personalities that you have followed for a very long time, apparently, you feel hurt and betrayed when they lied. And you can't make that connection between how your audience feels when you lie to us. I mean, I don't feel hurt or betrayed anymore because I just expect it. But, like, there are new people who are watching you who haven't been through your cycles yet. Hang in there. It's coming. But they haven't gone through the discovery phase of Amber just lies like she breathes kind of a thing. So those people are going to feel hurt and betrayed. And even more, they have your old audience going, we're warning you, we're telling you what's going to happen. So on top of everything else, on top of feeling hurt and betrayed, they also have like a giant community going, I told you so, I told you so. So how do you think those people are going to feel? You feel hurt and betrayed by these two people who I have no idea who they are because they lied about something, I'm sure, on the internet. The internet was wrong! But you can't seem to make that connection between how you feel as an audience member of these two people and how your audience members feel when you lie to them. Just, pointing things out.
Like, orchestrated, and I'm just like, what is going on? I can't be the only one that's upset, but according to how everyone's reacting, everyone's totally fine with it. Totally cool. You know what?
I'm willing to bet people are not totally cool with it. I'm willing to bet they're getting some kind of kickback, some kind of hate. Same thing with the Trisha Paytas thing. The problem is either this is such old news, most people don't care because they probably don't even remember, or it's irrelevant at this point in history. Or it's like the Trisha Paytas thing where it's just kind of like, it's Trisha? Am I supposed to be mad? Like, I literally don't know enough about Trisha to be mad about things. A couple of you have said things in the comment section. I'm just like, I didn't know. I'm not defending Trisha or anything like that. I'm just pointing out that, like, what I know of Trisha, if you were to tell me she wasn't lying about something, or playing up a character of some kind, I would be more shocked at that than you telling me that she's acting and or lying, right? But that's my perception of Trisha Paytas. Anyway.
You're skinny, you're beautiful, go ahead and lie. It's totally fine. Why do you nervously laugh around Tommy so much?
Because you're an idiot. Sorry.
I'm never nervous around Tommy.
I'm never nervous around Tommy. My lie tells are very obvious sometimes. Go on.
I'm laughing around Tommy because I'm happy. Like, I'm genuinely, like, so happy. I just can't stop laughing. That's a good sign. Like, I want to continue smiling. I want to continue laughing. I want to continue joking. Like, Tommy isn't just my lover, my partner, my this, my that. She is my best friend.
I don't know if she's your best friend, but if she is definitely, like, your current obsession, and you seem to mistake that for friendship. Her saying that she likes Tommy and Tommy makes her laugh and yada yada yada, yes, that all appears to be true, right? But her saying that she never laughs nervously, she's never nervous around that was a flat out lie. It's fine to be nervous around the people you like, especially early in the relationship,
And I want to always have fun with her, even doing stupid things like trying eggnog, and I'm just like giggling like a schoolgirl. It's because I'm happy.
It's because you're annoying.
Like, she genuinely makes me feel good when I'm around her, and I want it to stay that way. Are you still friends with Alexis, and can we get an update on that?
Oh, Alexis. I feel like I need to react to Alexis.
We are still friends.
No, you're not. Spoilers. Amber recorded all 4 of these videos in the same go. She just kept changing her shirt for some reason. But after she published the second video, her and Alexis had a falling out. And was that the start of the cookie crumble shit? I don't remember, honest to God. I can't keep track of this stuff right now. The point is after that video came out, her and Alexis had a falling out, and they are no longer on speaking terms. And Alexa put up, nope, that's still not her name. Alexis put up a new video and unprivated all of the old videos on her channel. I can't tell you if at this exact moment, which is January, I forget to put the dates in, January 15th. I don't know if her channel is currently up and available, but 2 days ago it was, because that's when I watched the video. And I'm sure by now someone screen captured it or saved it or what have you. I know a lot of people are like, we don't care about Lex because she's a this, she's a that, she's a whatever. I think Lex is an important side character, though. Not because, like, the individual herself is, like, particularly great. I don't really actually have anything against Lex. I honest to God, have no overarching opinion of her one way or the other, honestly. But I do think, side character-wise and storyline-wise, I think Lex is actually a very important character for the storyline, because Lex demonstrates in real time how Amber treats people, how Amber strings people along, how Amber actively works to keep potential lovers in the wing, right? Because Alexis was not just her bestest friend. Alexis was also a potential girlfriend, and they flirted with that a few times. Look, I have a very close friend who might as well just be a relative at this point. I would never send them a video of me sexually eating a cookie. Would not happen. I would not send them nudes of myself. Would not happen, because it'd be weird, okay? This friend I've had since wasn't even my freshman year. What's the year before your freshman year? Anyway, 12th grade? Fuck, I don't know. We've been friends a long time, is my point. And there's no way in hell I would send that friend nudes or nudie videos. Like, that's weird. Maybe it's not that weird for some of you, but it's weird for me. So there's that. Anyway. But that's another reason I'm pointing that out, because that was another way Amber was attempting to string Alexis along, because somehow that Alexis finds her attractive. Everybody's got their own tastes, man. But that's one of the reasons why I think Alexis is such an important character, because of the storyline and, as Alexis put it, for the plot. But anyway.
We are not as close as we used to be.
You're not close at all now.
Think that
I love this breakup story, by the way. It's not in here, though. At this point, Amber does think that they are still friends. Because, like I said, all of this had happened on the same day. And it was several days later that her and Alexis had their falling out. So
I do have like a wall up, and I think she knows. Obviously, like, the trust there, due to the betrayal, like, there's no trust there, you know? And I think she knows
how can you be friends with somebody you don't trust?
that, and I think she feels bad, but I think she's being patient, and she's being understanding, and she's being kind, and just like,
nope,
not forcing anything, which is what I appreciate. Like, I genuinely care about Alexis, and I love her, and I know she feels the same for me. So I'm glad that I was able to forgive her, and we were able to hang out quite a few times and like have a great time. But I think it's going to take a while before things ever get back to how they were, if they ever do.
Why would she want to be friends with you after that? Like, anyway. This is Law 33, discovering each man's thumbscrew by highlighting Alexis's betrayal and the gradual rebuilding of trust. Amber reinforces the narrative of being wronged by Alexis while maintaining control over the relationship's narrative. That's what we just watched happen there. Amber reminded the audience that Alexis betrayed her by making 4 videos. Yeah, 4 videos about how Amber's just a terrible person. We already knew all of this, by the way. There was nothing new in there. We found out, well, there was. We found out that Valentine was real, and that there was another girl that Amber had been talking to. Anyway, I mean, by any standard, that was a betrayal by any standards. I'm sorry. it just was. But Amber is highlighting Alexis's betrayal to remind us that Alexis is the one who is wrong here, and Amber is the one who is magnanimously allowing Alexis back into her life because she doesn't trust her yet, but Alexis is doing all of the right amounts of ass kissing to get back into Amber's good graces. Good job, Alexis. But that does allow her to maintain control over the relationship, because if Alexis wants to be friends with Amber, she has to jump through certain hoops in order to be friends with Amber. And Amber is going to let her audience know that she's making Alexis jump through hoops in order to be her friend. And look at Alexis jump. Kind of a situation. All right. This is, where are we? This is the defensive war strategy of guarding the vulnerabilities. Okay, it's an illusion, by the way. She's acknowledging a wall between them by deflecting. It deflects further questions about Alexis's recent actions while keeping the door open for reconciliation. She's trying with this strategy. She's trying to make it appear to the audience. Again, remember, she is letting Alexis back into her life. not Alexis is allowing her back into Alexis's life. There was no, I feel privileged because Alexis is allowing me back into her life, or I'm happy that Alexis is allowing the two of us to rebuild this relationship. It's me, Alexis is doing this, that, and something else for me, because she wants to be my friend, she wants to be in my life, kind of a thing. And that didn't happen, by the way. But the point is that Amber, this is one of those times where Amber's need for control over a relationship comes very much to the forefront because of what she's saying. I always say Amber tattles on herself. Give her enough time, Amber will tattle on herself. Another reason why people are constantly don't trust you and think you lie, because eventually you tattle on yourself. And unfortunately with this Alexis thing, the fallout has not happened. It will. But this current Amber thinks that the relationship is being rebuilt by her standards, by her rules, and that Alexis is jumping through her hoops in order to be her friend again. There is a falling out. Alexis basically tells her to go suck eggs and puts out another video. I might do a reaction to it because I've reacted to every other video. So here we are. We're almost done. I'm so sorry about this video.
Who are some of your favorite YouTubers right now? Life Plus Cindy, I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I love her videos. Pink.
Somebody was telling me that Amber is pulling a lot of her BPD symptoms and the acting of the BPD. She's pulling that from Life by Cindy. Sorry, I got hiccups. Fidget. All right. Please cut that out. I have been asked to react to Life by Cindy in the past. I looked at some of her videos and she's kind of like Alexandra Rodriguez. Like, I don't get it. But I do think I might do a handful of reactions to Life by Cindy just because people are pointing out that Amber is pulling personality details and have been pulling, like, people have been saying this since she moved back to Oklahoma, honestly. So I probably should get around to reacting to Life by Cindy just so that I can see one of the possible origin points for that weird personality that Amber was crafting for herself when she didn't have a girlfriend. But anyway.
Pink Vlogs, which is Pink Sparkles, but her vlog channel, and also Yo Mama. So I'd say those are my top 3.
Her and Pink Sparkles have been friends for a while, so that one didn't surprise me. Yo Mama's just, Nerfy always says, don't touch the poo. And that's kind of how I feel about the Yo Mama stuff. I just would rather not. Though it was pretty funny. Apparently he was lurking in Nerfy's chat the other day and somebody bought memberships. And apparently he got one of the memberships and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So Yo Mama apparently likes to lurk in smaller channels' lives. Okay.
If you could ask Jordy one single question and have him answer honestly and without bias or trying to impress his audience, what question would you ask him?
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen African swallow?
Honestly, there's a lot. I have a whole interview I could give him. Trust. Jordy.
I would love to interview Jordy. I would also, honestly, I'd love to interview Jordy. I'd love to interview Zachary Michael. Y'all know I would love to interview Mr. Snowflake. And he said he was up for it. It's just, the same thing with the Colin collab. It's just time. And I understand because unlike me, these people have real jobs and they have like real lives and I don't. So, but I would love to interview. I'd love to interview Kicking Geese. A lot of the reactors from the Girl World universe, I would love to interact or to interview them in general. I think it would be fun. And yes, I would put them a little bit on the hot seat. I'm not going to lie. Not because I don't like them, but just because, like, if all I'm going to do is softball an interview, why am I even doing an interview? So.
Hello. I know you're watching. I know you're watching by yourself first.
I hear. No, wait, that's the wrong one. I wear my. No, that's still not good. Anybody know any good stalking songs?
And then you like to watch again while you're reacting, which is weird because why can't you just watch the first time during your reaction? Is it because you have to think of things to say and to complain about and to nitpick?
Yes, because your videos are boring as fuck. Pretty much everybody who reacts to you usually reacts to your video after watching it at least once, usually on 2x speed, because otherwise it's like a time bomb waiting to go off, because you're going to say something about some part of your body that probably shouldn't be mentioned on YouTube. So we like to get ahead of that. And also, like, sometimes there's just, your videos are so dry, we literally have to come up with something to talk about. Don't get me wrong, we have chosen this. We've chosen this. We are reactors. This is the path we have chosen, right? And this year, I'm trying to get back to the roots where I am not going to complain about Amber's channel being boring, because we have to accept the fact that Amber's channel is boring, right? It is what it is. It's like me complaining about rain being wet. So this year, as far as like resolutions for this channel, you can write this one down and hold me to it. I'm going to do my damnedest to not be watching an Amber video and being like, oh my God, Amber video, this is so bad. I'm not going to do that. I don't think I ever have really done that. And I'm definitely, she makes me really mad. She has made me really mad. But as far as like watching a video and being like, while I'm watching the video, anyway, the point is, yes, Amber, most of us watch your shit and then react to it, right? Because we need to know what's going to happen. I think any reactor who's going to react to anything should probably at least vet the person first to make sure that they're even a topic you want to talk about. Because nothing's worse than starting to watch something live, usually, and you realize, 3 to 4 minutes in, that this is A, not something you should be watching on YouTube, and B, not something you want to react to in the first place. Like, that's bad, because then you got to cut it, and you're like, oh, you got to cut it, you got to recover from it, and you got to find something else to talk about live. Nobody wants to be in that situation, right? And you are not so bad that someone's going to be like, oh God, and have to like bail. But you do shit sometimes that needs to be removed from a YouTube video because it's inappropriate in the first place. Like your question from earlier that my editor took out, because we're not talking about that on my channel.
And all the little fat jokes you make, is that what it is?
Does he make a lot of fat jokes? I don't understand making the fat jokes. I mean, I get it. She's fat. I mean, what's the point of making fat jokes?
To like ponder that while you're playing your little World of Warcraft in your mom's basement. Don't answer.
Oh my God, Jordy plays World of Warcraft while he's sitting in his mom's basement. Oh my God. I'm sorry, weren't you just talking about your Animal Crossing era? Okay. Wow. You sure got one on Jordy there. Amber, probably 90% of the reactors, 90% of the people that react to you play some video game of some variety. Okay? Anyway. This is the start of Amber going forward for war. Like, this is Amber's attack, right? She, like I said, she started building the groundwork for her attack. She rallied her troops and got herself ready. This is her launching those attacks. I know it sounded like that on a Karina one, but again, Karina's old news as far as we're concerned with Amber. This particular attack on Jordy, sitting in your mom's basement playing, wow. Girlfriend, Jordy can drive himself, I'm pretty sure. Jordy can walk out of the basement of his own volition. Jordy's knees don't hurt because he went up a flight of stairs to get out of the basement of his own volition. All right? But this is Law 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. She's mocking Jordy and she's critiquing his style. She's trying to flip accusations of pettiness and laziness back onto him, aiming to undermine his legitimacy. I have had problems with Jordy's content, not Jordy himself, just Jordy's content in the past. And I mean, I'm pretty vocal about it when I do. And you could probably find those videos. I don't tend to take things down. So if you're curious, there you go. I don't remember what videos they're in. But anyway, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm not going to sit here and be like a Jordy cheerleader or anything. I don't know Jordy. I don't really have an opinion of Jordy. I don't tend to watch Jordy's stuff. I have been watching Jordy's Bent Thumb, I think is the name of the channel. That's pretty funny. But also they cut Jordy's lives down to a manageable amount of time. So there. That all being said, I don't know if legitimacy, like she is trying to undermine his legitimacy here. She's trying to make him sound like a neckbeard that lives in his, like a neckbeard that lives down in his mom's basement, you know? And even if he was, it doesn't change his critiques. It doesn't change the legitimacy of the things that he does critique you about. Now, if Jordy's just sitting down there making constant fat jokes, I mean, why bother? It's like the lowest of the low hanging fruit, right? It's like not even worth it, which I guess does fall into the pettiness and the laziness that she's trying to accuse him of. If really that's all what he's doing is just nitpicking and making fat jokes, then yeah, I can kind of see that. But I've watched enough of the cut down lives of his. That isn't all he's doing. He does try to do sensationalized things. I don't care. I've been vocal about those myself, but that is not lazy, nor is it petty, right? In the moment, Jordy thought he had something, and in a couple of them, he did, right? And that's regardless of how I feel about it after the fact. That is neither lazy nor petty. Jordy had to go out and find these people, or at least talk with these people behind the scenes. There's other things that he had to go look up, and I don't know how much research he did into things, but I'm assuming he did some. And that right there negates the laziness, right? And the topics that he's chosen to talk about don't necessarily revolve around Amber's body and her physical appearance. So that kind of negates the pettiness as well. Legitimacy, I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. This is actually the war of attrition. Her direct and provocative remarks are designed to exhaust Jordy and other critics' energy while rallying her supporters. I have said this every time Amber has gone after a reaction channel. This strategy will not work for her. It is the strategy that she's trying to do, the war of attrition. She's just trying to wear people down. But the problem is her following is not strong enough to take on the following of these large reaction channels. I can say whatever I want all day long about Jordy and his channel. Jordy is one of the larger channels. He's one of the more favored channels. Like, Jordy has crazy support. I'm sure I'm going to get at least 2 people in here leaving comments because I said something about Jordy, right? That's the problem. Her followers are the people who actually like her and who will rally around her, because there are a few. They are not strong enough as a group to go to Jordy's channel and wreak havoc, right? And even if they did, Jordy has a strong enough following to counterbalance that would just get shut down. I've watched it happen. Okay, this has happened before. But she does this routinely and doesn't seem to learn that this strategy just does not work for her. But yet she continues to do it. So I don't understand why. I guess maybe she feels like this is the only way she can retaliate. I don't remember if this is before or after she got blocked from Jordy's chat because she got in there and decided to be... I didn't read what she posted. I don't care. But I know that he blocked her because she was being annoying. But that, again, is another one of my points. She tried to take Jordy on one-on-one in his chat during a live, and it did not go well for her. Jordy just straight blocked her. You can't argue with me if I can't hear you. And then she went over to her community tab and started posting things and deleting them. She started pulling a foodie beauty. She would post something, delete it, post another thing, delete it. But her posts were comments to Jordy, and people were reading them and reading them back to him, right? So what was the point of blocking her, I guess was my point. But anyway, she has tried to take these channels on toe-to-toe. She's tried to take these channels on behind the scenes. It doesn't work for her, right? And she doesn't seem to understand that, right? So anyway, That's what we're talking about here with this is the first major attack that Amber sends out during these Q&As, right? The second major one is going to happen in the last, and I have a lot to say about that one as well. So let's let her finish.
Answer that, because that's not the question. My question is, you say that you want, the best for me. You want me to go on semaglutide and lose the weight. You say that you're just a reaction channel and you're reacting to just, me as a person. And supposedly I'm just not a good person and all that. But what makes you better? Every 1 minute or...
He hasn't murdered a cat. I'm willing to go on a limb that he hasn't abused a partner or significant other at this point, or at least doesn't have multiple significant others who have come forward and talked about being abused by you. What else have we got? He hasn't tried to move into someone's house without being invited there multiple times. There's probably other things I can think of, but those are the ones right on the top of my head that make Jordy better than you, but here we are.
Or 2 minutes, you have a fat joke. A very mean fat joke.
Look, if he's making fat jokes, I'm not defending his fat jokes. I don't think you should be making fat jokes, but it still doesn't, it's still not on the same level as the shit Amber's pulled. So even though I do not agree with fat jokes, he's still better than you. I'm sorry. You're still a worse person than Jordy.
Joke. You are fat phobic and you're fat shaming and your audience eggs it on. What makes you any better than me?
I just listed that. I just listed why he's better than you.
You're actively making fun of someone's weight, size, and body for money, for monetization gain. But yet I'm the bad person?
Yeah, you're still the bad person. Do I think Jordy should be only... If it were true that Jordy is only mocking her weight and her size and her appearance exclusively and doing nothing else, which I know is not true, that would not be a great channel. That would not be a good look, right? I wouldn't be okay with that, but I wouldn't go do anything. But my reaction would be, I don't watch Jordy. Because I'm not going to go to places where I know I'm going to get... I'm not going places where I know I'm going to get offended, right? Unlike Amber. Even if all of that was true, he's still above you as far as like bad people, right? I mean, there's just like thing after thing after thing that I can bring up about you. Go watch go watch any of the Victims of an Empath videos that Mr. Snowflake did. Mr. Snowflake has a multiple part documentary series that actually, that was like the first documentary series that he did of Girl World, which was Amberlynn Reed Shaped by the Algorithm. And you will see why Jordy is a better person than Amber. Now, would it be interesting if Mr. Snowflake did... This is a complete hypothetical. If Mr. Snowflake did a deep dive on Jordy and found all of this bullshit from Jordy's past, and it turns out that Jordy has done a number of the things that Amber has done as well, right? This is complete hypothetical. Then that would change the storyline, right? That would change things some. But A, that hasn't happened. And B, I feel like that wouldn't happen, even if Mr. Snowflake did a deep dive on Jordy. I just feel like I don't think there's going to be those types of accusations popping up in Jordy's past. I just don't think so. Not because I know Jordy. Again, I have a lukewarm opinion of Jordy anyway. It's neither good nor bad. So it's just, I just don't think he has the same kind of background that Amber does. So anyway, let's finish this out. I'm sorry, I'm rambling at this point. I'm rambling because this is an important part of the video, right? This attack on Jordy, because that's what it is. It's an attack on Jordy. She's trying to grab hold of the narrative. She's trying to flip the switch, flip the mirror, whatever. She wants to make herself look like she's a better person by making it sound like all Jordy does is just sit over there and make fat jokes all day long. Maybe he does. I've watched cut down versions of his lives. It's not what he does. So I'm comfortable saying that that's not what happens. But thank you, Jordy's bent thumb or whatever that was, curved thumb. This is an important moment in the Q&A, and this is why I was like, oh, Robert Greene wrote a book about the strategies of war. I think it would be interesting to kind of compare Amber's tactics as she moves against the reaction channels here, just to kind of see how they line up with somebody who's basically a modern day Machiavellian. And so far, she's not doing great. Like, she is attempting to do things, but she's just not. She's not smart enough to do them, I guess. Am I smart enough to pull off some of these war strategies? Probably not. But I'm not trying to either. I'm not going on YouTube drama warfare with other reaction channels.
I know you're going to have a rebuttal. I know you're going to manipulate your audience. But either way, if
he's going to manipulate his audience,
you're just reacting, like, why is it okay to be fat phobic while doing so? Is that because that's all you have? Because
kind of like this is all you have as an attack on Jordy. Like, you really haven't established anything yet. You've just accused him of being fat phobic, claimed that all he does is make fat jokes, after attacking him and saying, oh, you just live in your mom's basement and play video games all day long. Go see the sun. Girlfriend, you're taking vitamin D supplements because your vitamin D is so low. Maybe don't go after people about not seeing the sun.
Because I'm not as shitty as you really thought it was, and my life isn't as dramatic as you want it to be.
It's not as dramatic as I want it to be.
So the only thing you have is, like, every other minute making fun of my body and my weight and my size and my issues.
Considering your issues, you're talking about as your mental issues, and I am willing to believe that half of them are made up. Something's not right with Amber, don't get me wrong. Is it what Amber claims? I can't definitively say yes or no, and neither can Amber, because she's never been formally diagnosed. I know I'm a stickler for that, and I know it annoys a couple of people, but I'm going to continue to be a stickler for that one, mainly because Amber isn't using her issues as a way to connect with the audience and be like, oh, we all have issues. Let's all have issues together. She's not doing that. She's using it as an excuse for her shit behavior. After she went into Jordy's chat and had her tantrum in the chat and then went over to her community page to continue said tantrum, she made a video about it. And she was talking about what she had done. And she's like, that was a BPD episode. What you witnessed was a BPD episode. No, Amber, what we witnessed was you throwing a temper tantrum. Whether your BPD fed that or not is irrelevant. Just because there is something wrong with you does not give you the right to be an asshole. I'm sorry. But that's what was going on. And that is a real-time example of Amber having shit behavior in public where it was recorded and then turning around and blaming it on her BPD because she doesn't want to take responsibility for her own actions. And that is why people ding her for her issues, including myself. Like, I think I'm a little more sympathetic than some people, but which also makes the fourth part of this whole discussion right now makes the fourth part of this even more interesting because she goes after Zachary Michael. But that's why people ding her for her issues, because she is not formally diagnosed for any of them, and she does nothing to improve, right? No therapist, no medication, no at-home therapy, nada. She journals. That's all she'll admit to doing. She journals. Okay, I mean, so do I. But I also go to a therapist, and I'm also on medication. Like, I'm on Wellbutrin. Like, and that has truly improved my life. It's not for everybody. But my point is, I'm not sitting here, oh, my depression. Oh. I'm not doing that because I don't want to be that person. Amber does, right? She has the means and the time and the money. And yeah, but she doesn't have the motivation to go get treatment. Anyway, that's the end of my tirade. We're going to leave it on this beautiful face of Amber's, because I think that's going to be my thumbnail. But this is, as I was saying earlier, this is the first formal attack on the reaction channels. This is why I was like, yeah, let's do the 33 strategies of war. I hope you guys are enjoying it. General observations through this has been a lot of deflection and a lot of image control. Amber is trying to keep her responses very vague and very open, and she's been doing that the whole time because she wants to be able to go back and adjust if she needs to. And so she's trying to keep things open, right? And that's a lot of deflection, and it's a lot of, I am the victim, everybody's attacking me, I am a good person, me, I. So there's a lot of that going on. There's a ton of emotional manipulation, and this actually goes under Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Yeah. So she uses self-deprecating jokes, and she always has. I always say that she makes the joke about herself before anyone else can, so when they finally do make the joke, it has less of a sting. Like, she's always done that. But it's a way to appeal to the audience and to seem more relatable, and to just kind of draw out those emotions, like, of other people who have been called or had those things said about them also. It's like, I've been called fat too. I didn't like it then either. It's that kind of a thing. Like, I don't like being called chunky or whatever else she said. It's that sort of a thing. And she's trying to provide rebuttals towards the reaction channels, specifically Jordy here. Again, I know she mentions Katrina, but I'm going to reiterate, that is not the attack here. She's trying to do damage control. We'll go over the Alexis one later. She's trying to do damage control. She's trying to control the narrative, and she's trying to undermine the reaction channels by rallying her troops and sending them out, right, to go do whatever they're going to go do. And that's what this particular Q&A is. And that's why she left the question about Jordy till the end, so that she could go out with a bang. She thinks she's going to mic drop here and just walk away from the camera and be like, but yeah, no. And there we go. And this is the launch of Amber's attack, right? This is the launch of the war. Amber has gone to war. So I really don't have anything else to say that I didn't say in the moment. So if you have made it this far in the video, bless you. It's been a video. Go ahead and leave a trumpet or some kind of trumpety-esque instrument for, the cavalry. They always blew the little trumpets. So leave that down in the comment section down below. Or don't. Because I have a record of picking emojis that don't exist. But anyway. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you seeing... Do you think I'm just making stuff up with this? Like these 48 laws and the 33 strategies? Let me know. Are you enjoying it? Is it ridiculous? Is it kind of just a fun thought experiment? Yeah, words. And let me know what you're going to let me know down in the comment section down below. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. I'm not changing my shirt. We are recording all of these in one go, and I will see everybody in the next one. Bye!
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.